What's up guys, my name is Chris. I am a gold miner from the northeast of Victoria here in Australia, and today we're setting up a little home sluice to run some concentrates through from one of the richest spots we work for gold. But the thing about this spot is that it is directly below some lode mines. This is where the gold is shedding out of the hillside. It has been eroded by water and weather over the last millennia. And there is a lot of gold in this stream. I have never put this creek on film for this exact reason. This right here is a full day's work. Basically what we do is we use a gold pan and we pan down till we have a handful of concentrates, and then we dump it in the bucket. So there's probably close to 100 pans worth of cons in here. At any rate, that's enough talking out of me. Let's get this bucket run through the sluice. Normally I would have this in my cleanup sluice. This is the microcell Dreammatic. But today I've been shipped a 36-inch long cleanup sluice from VDR. Basically, this is a first generation vortex mat system coupled with a drop riffle sluice. There are multiple differences between VDR and Dreammat. The main difference is that this is a completely level sluice. So there is nothing sticking up above the horizontal plane of each of those cells. Unlike the side profiling here of Dreammat, which has multiple ridges sticking up which help to snag that gold. So when using the VDR system, you have to feed it just a little bit slower so you don't get a level out and have gold just wash straight off over the top. So normally I would classify my dirt down, but in this case I am doing a special project with the tailing, so I don't mind if I lose a little bit of gold because of the no classification. So we're just going to start feeding the sluice. We should start seeing a really good show of gold up the top here in just a few spoonfuls. I kind of like that there's a really big drop riffle right where the water comes in. I'm just dropping my concentrates into that. So if anything like a specimen or bullets or whatever, they're going to land right in that first riffle and not go anywhere. We're only about 10 teaspoons in, and we're starting to get some nice looking colour at the top of the sluice. I seriously do wish I could take you to these spots and put them on film, but it's just not worth it. I've had so many spots destroyed by people who are just after the gold, right? They come in with dredges and one time an excavator and trash these spots. So I'm keeping this one to myself, but I'm very happy to be able to share the cleanups with you. Ooh, must be the gold fever or something in here. It is getting hot. 4 degrees outside and it's like 50 in here. It may be kind of hard to see in this light, but there is a lot of black sand in every single spoonful. And we're starting to see a lot of black sand form in every single cell and drop riffle. What I have been doing is coming down about midway and checking the drop riffles to make sure they're not packed down. All these riffles are relatively loose. Up here, they're still loose, but you can feel the density of that black sand. Now, there's an important thing to note about black sand, and that is that it is your friend. It actually offers a place for the gold to hide. So gold is denser than the black sand, and as long as the black sand remains fluid or not packed down and solid, the gold will work its way through it, and then that black sand protects it from big rocks and things rolling over the top of it. So having black sand in your sluice, not a bad thing, as long as it remains fluid. Let's feed the little hungry beast. Oh, nom 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 nom. And I mean, look at the gold and look at the lead. We've got heaps of lead in that top riffle, and we've got heaps of gold in these first bits of V-matting. I now have this turned up to its maximum setting, and we're just going to let it settle some of this dirt out. So there's going to be a lot of black sand and stuff in here, and if we let it run for a little while, it'll clear it out for us. In the meanwhile, the bucket is empty and all the dregs from the bucket are in this pan. I haven't actually looked underneath this muddy water yet, so we're going to find out together what, if anything, was left at the bottom of the bucket. Yeah, a little bit of fine gold. Just a little bit. Not heaps. This is what the top of our sluice box looks like. after running that half bucket, and that is a pretty good take of fine flour gold. Now I know there was a lot of coarser, chunkier bits, and I was surprised to not see them right at the top. And I've got a lot of migration in terms of shotgun pellets. This is about 3/4 of the way down. Now shotgun pellets generally should not make it down that far. Couple of things though, this is the first time I have used this sluice, so there is a chance that I have it set up incorrectly, and that's something I'm going to have to go back to the manufacturer and address. There'll be notes on this in the future. Again, this isn't a review video, I'm wrapping my head around it and having a bit of fun. But any way you cut it, that looks tasty. I just got an old soap dish bottle to use as a sprayer. One day I'll get one of Shane's ones, but that's not today. Whoa, what? Oh, I love seeing that. Have a look. As you can see, I was just squirting out these top riffles here, and as I started getting it to collect, look at that. That is a real fat line of gold, and it just keeps going. I'll be straight up, that took a lot longer to clean out than a regular mat like I would use from Dream Mat. I'm a hobby miner, I love doing this for fun, and taking my time to remove the dirt from the sluice that I've just run all my concentrates through is part of that fun. So for a hobby miner, no issues at all. Okay, here we go. I have not had a look in this yet. Oh, that is heavy. Holy crap, that has a lot of concentrate in it. Like, that's dense. You can feel the weight. It's like super tangible just how much black sand, lead, and hopefully gold is in there. I'm not going to pan this down just yet. I'm going to shake it back and we're just going to have a look and see what comes out. I think I need a tripod. Look at the fine gold. Alright, we're not going to pan this down at all. All I'm going to do is just sort of swish it back and see if we can't see any of the gold in here. I mean, there is just serious black sand. I've got to get rid of some of this water. Way too much water. I mean, the gold is just littered through that black sand. Look how much lead there is coming out at the top. This is going to take a long time to clean up. Look at that fine gold. Man, this system actually did pretty good. If it's catching that kind of gold, wow! Look at that. That is a fat line of very fine gold. Now, I did a terrible review on this. There is gold all through this black sand. Between filming the sluicing section and filming the panning out section, I caught influenza, like an actual influenza. I've been sick for well over a week now. It's not that, don't even ask. So you're not going to have to look at my face for too long. I'm not going to do much talking. We're just going to get this gold cleaned up in a pan now. We do this 1 tablespoon at a time. That is what 1 tablespoon of concentrates looks like. And now as we do is spend a lot of time doing this. You could use a bunch of different machines, but honestly, this is cheap and it teaches you how to pan properly. If you can do this at home, you'll be very fast on the creek. 5 minutes later, and that's what 1 tablespoon of concentrates gave us. So we are getting some pretty decent gold out of this dirt. Fern, has it been stuck inside for like a week? But I tell you what doesn't suck is a fat pan of gold. So that's our result once the bucket got all cleaned up. So I'm gonna let that dry in the sun for a little bit and then we're gonna get it on the scales. This is all the gold that we pulled out of that bucket next to a Clash Guitars pick for a bit of scale. And you can clearly see why I don't take a camera to this creek. Because this is just from panning. We're not allowed to use sluices in this particular spot because of an agreement we have with the landholder. Could you imagine if I was allowed to use a sluice there? That is a fat line of gold. I would hope for 2 grams, but we'll find out in a second.
Oh my god, damn, I was close. 1.996 grams. 1.996 grams of gold is worth $154.93 at the time of recording, which is about the minimum wage for a full day's work here in Australia. Now, before I get too many surprised Americans in the comments saying that that's a ridiculous amount to earn for minimum wage, the cost of living in Australia is quite high. So I think our minimum wage is around $22 an hour, but the cost of like a Big Mac meal is $14. So hopefully that gives you some ratios. Right, I'm going to get over this influenza virus and then get back out on the creeks to bring you guys some more videos. I hope you did enjoy watching. Please remember to hit that subscribe button if you did, and check out the rest of the videos on my channel because I have over 400 gold prospecting and metal detecting adventures for you to consume. Until next time, give your dog a scratch behind the ears for me. Peace! And I'm going to go to bed.